It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Monday, the 8th of January. I'm Michael Groff. You don't need me to tell you it's cold out there this morning. The coldest weather we've had so far this winter season, and another cold day today, cold night tonight. And then gradually, temperatures are going to begin to moderate through the rest of the week and into this weekend, although we should still see afternoon highs staying just slightly below average and a freeze possible on many mornings here. We do have a possibility for a little bit of precipitation later this week, but when, where, and how much, that's still a bit of a question. And what about that weather pattern going into next week? Signs of a pattern change. We'll talk about all of it as we get out there and discuss. First, here's that almanac from yesterday. 54 degrees the afternoon high, 43 was the low. That actually occurred at 10 p.m. 67 and 45 are the averages, 81 the record high, 16 degrees. We have that in blue for that record low because that is the all-time coldest temperature ever observed in Phoenix. And over the years, people have asked me, is there a weather record in Phoenix that you think is untouchable? And I would always point to that one right there, that 16 degrees. Not in my lifetime will we ever even get close to that again. You can take that to the bank and spend it like you already made it. All right. Looking outside right now here at 8 o'clock, we've got clear sky. We've got 37 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point 19, humidity 48%. It's a calm wind, the barometer rising. Temperatures around the area this morning, yeah, it is chilly. 33 degrees at Arcadia. It's even colder than that in South Chandler and Gilbert. And look at Goldfield at 26. And it's 31 in Goodyear. It's 36 in Avondale. It's cold. I see 41 there and 40 up at South Mountain Park. I'm not sure if those are older observations or if that maybe is a temperature inversion situation there, but I don't think so because it's in the 20s at Thompson Peak. So very interesting, but nevertheless, just about all of us are in the 30s or even colder than that. Some of you down in the 20s, and I expect another cold night tonight, maybe even colder than what we experienced last night. And here's why. The upper air weather pattern, a very energetic system moving through the western states and out toward the plains. That system yesterday brought rain. It brought low elevation snow. It brought graupel and hail to the Phoenix area. Many reports of that, especially for the northern portions of greater Phoenix, from Peoria over toward Deer Valley and New River and North Scottsdale, even the Scottsdale area. Some pictures I saw yesterday, it looked like a winter wonderland in some areas. So, but that system is moving off to the east, and we are left with a cold, dry, north-northwesterly flow behind it. Now, out ahead of it, it's a mess. I mean, look at this watch warning map. There's just too much to cover here. You've got the highlights. We've got blizzard warnings over the Cascades, as well as northeast New Mexico, the northwest Texas Panhandle into parts of Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska. And then over the northeast, you've got winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, coastal flood warnings, and the big story with this system coming into the plain states are the gradient winds, not necessarily associated with rain or thunderstorms, just the strong winds generated by the difference in pressure gradient. And that's why we've got wind advisories that extend from New Mexico through Texas all the way into the southeast U.S. and over to the Carolinas, North Florida. So very windy day and a very windy night ahead tonight. And winds will continue into tomorrow in some spots. And obviously winter weather conditions over the northwestern states. Now here in Arizona, we've got freeze warnings for Maricopa County, including central parts of the county for Phoenix and the Phoenix metro area, obviously, until 9 a.m. this morning, and then until from 1 a.m. until 9 a.m. Tuesday morning. Get some hard freeze warnings around as well. Convective outlook for today, we've got, how about this? Haven't seen this in a while. The level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for severe storms for around the Sabine Pass over to New Orleans, Biloxi, Mobile, Alabama, into the Florida Panhandle. And obviously there with this system, again, a very energetic system, very strong shear values, wouldn't take much instability to generate not only some severe storms, but those that produce some tornadoes, maybe a strong tornado or two down there. We have to watch for that later this afternoon and especially tonight and into the early morning hours on Tuesday. And then speaking of Tuesday, here's the day 2 outlook as that system moves to the east. We've got the enhanced risk of severe storms from southeast Alabama through North Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas. And so again, going to be a very busy weather day down there. All right, precipitation outlook valid through Monday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, not much. I mean, what there is will be found over the eastern portion of the state mainly. And there is a weather system that will come through here later this week, and that could produce some precipitation. We'll talk about that and everything else right now as we get to the models. Take a look. This is the GFS, the 06Z run, valid 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's our very vigorous cold trough moving into the plain states. And yeah, we're on the backside, northerly flow here. What it means for us down at the surface today, just a chilly day. Highs upper 40s to low 50s. Yeah, plenty of sun around, but it's just going to feel real cool out there. Don't have days like this too often. We'll be anywhere from about 14 to 19 degrees below average for the high today. Now, there's that surface low moving through the Texas Panhandle and points to the east, and obviously the snow there for northeast New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, and strong storms out ahead of it. Now, tonight, another cold night. Lows, I would say low 20s, low to mid 20s. For the outlying valley areas, low 30s for the urban core. And I would not even be surprised if maybe the high deserts, the remote deserts, get into the upper teens tonight. That is not completely out of the question. And then tomorrow, it's going to set the stage for another chilly day, although not quite as cool. Highs low to mid 50s, but still that's way below average. Wednesday, we'll see some clouds come back in the mix as another system is off to the north and west of us. That'll be sliding southeastward with time and high temperatures mid-50s to about 60. Here comes Thursday, the GFS, a little bit more aggressive with precipitation here across the southwest with that system coming through. The core of this, I think, just is a little further to the north and east of us, and this is not as strong a system as what came through here yesterday. Nevertheless, we could still catch a shower or two as that cold front comes on by. And I think the snow level could come down to about 4,000 feet with this. So high temperatures on Thursday, probably mid-50s. We'll put in a 20% chance of showers. I just don't think it's going to produce much, just like that system yesterday really didn't produce much, and this will be similar to that. In fact, we may not get anything here in Phoenix, and even if you do, like I said, it would be very isolated and light. And then that system's on by, and another cold night Thursday night, Friday morning. We'll start the day out in the 30s for many spots, maybe upper 20s in the colder valley locations, and then highs somewhere in the mid to upper 50s, back to around 60 on Saturday, upper 50s to low 60s on Sunday. And another system is passing by, but this one further to the north. There might be a rain or snow shower for the Arizona-Utah border, or over toward the Four Corners, but most of the precipitation stays to the north of us with that system. But we will see some clouds, I think, this weekend. So expect skies to be partly cloudy, maybe even mostly cloudy at times, but again, mainly mid and high-level clouds. Here's a week from today. This is Monday the 15th. Evidence of a pattern change. And what we mean here is that look at that cold trough moving into the northern plain states. And you see further to the north, there's very broad ridging over the Arctic. And the door might be opening up for the possibility of some very cold Arctic air to intrude across central and eastern North America as we go into next week. And that's not a for sure thing yet, but models are certainly hinting that way. And so we're going to watch for that. And then as we go out 10 days, this is Wednesday the 15th. Now, of course, we're dry. This is a zonal flow, at least that's what it appears here. But this is a little bit of a deceptive look because still there could be some very cold Arctic air that plunges southward across the nation next week, or at least across the central and eastern part of the country. We might very well see temperatures near or even slightly above average out here in the southwest U.S., but just east of us, yeah, it could be quite cold. We'll have to see, though. This is one of those patterns. It's not set in stone yet. This is, we're not going to get into specifics about any type of weather situation out beyond 7 days, but just watch those model trends. All right. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix out through the 22nd of January off the GFS ensemble. Not very encouraging. The mean is only about a tenth or just over a tenth of an inch. European ensemble closer to a quarter of an inch, but there's quite a few members that show nothing at all, and that is certainly a possibility in a pattern like this. And then temperatures off the national blend of models. Notice the trend is up. Now, we're going to have a cool day today. Tomorrow, you see those lows down in the 30s, and that's at Sky Harbor. Many of you down in the 20s. But then we get well up into the 60s, and we could even be cresting above 70 at some point. That might be a touch optimistic, but possible as we get out there toward 10 days and beyond. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here and you want to support us monetarily, then you can click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make a monetary contribution to us. $2, $5, $5 million. It all helps in the furtherance of this channel, and each dollar, each contribution is so greatly appreciated, like Clayton did yesterday. Thank you, Clayton. Really do appreciate that. Really helps us out. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle, so check her out. Check out her travel videos, her Chronicles solo adventure to the Philippines. I, of course, link that in the description. It'll be linked down there for quite a while, I think. And part 1 and part 2. So check those out as well. All right, you guys, thank you so much for all of your continued support. Please be safe out there and have yourselves a beautiful Monday.